what's up, everybody? Jasper Gonzo here, another What's Next Weekend Edition. Well, we are going to shift our focus from U.S. bullshit politics because, it's always hip deep. We are going to swing over to Europe. The country of Ukraine. Yes, that little small country, Ukraine, that has gotten so much press as of late in regards to a possible Russian ramp-up of military heading towards its borders. Now, with that being said, it has gotten so fever-pitched. Those with wonderful credentials such as CNN, MSNBC, legacy media, these wonderful journalists who actually report the news and don't become it. War is imminent with Ukraine. Russia with millions on the border about to invade Ukraine. But wait. The Ukrainian president himself says, pump your brakes, boys. It's all media bullshit. Let's take a look. This comes out of Breitbart. President Zelensky says Ukraine lost almost 500 million to Biden war hype. We don't need this panic. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky condemned international corporate media and world leaders like President Joe Dementia for publicly predicting imminent war with Russia on Friday, stating that the panic caused these statements caused Ukraine 12.5 billion hryvnia, about 437 million in foreign investment. Zelensky spent nearly an hour and a half with reporters at a press conference in Kiev on Friday, following what has become a controversial phone call with Joe Dementia on Thursday night. While the official readouts from both Washington and Kiev depicted the call as productive and friendly, a CNN report based on anonymous sources, because, of course, with CNN, it's always anonymous sources, described the call as frustrating and tedious, featuring harried warnings from Biden that Kiev would be sacked and exasperated requests from Zelensky for the president to calm down. Both the White House and the Ukrainian president office have rejected the CNN report, but Zelensky himself, during a press conference, repeatedly expressed gratitude to Biden without addressing the acute challenges that the CNN report claimed exist in the relationship. Zelensky did tell reporters that he spent much of the call emphasizing to Biden that telling the world that Russia would imminently invade Ukraine, something Kiev has repeatedly stated that there is little material evidence to believe could lead to economic devastation in that country. In turn, increased the probability of a full-fledged Russian assault. Quote, I mentioned this to President Biden. We need to stabilize the economy of our country because those signals, which say that tomorrow there will be war, Zelensky said. Because these signals were sent by even leaders of the respected countries. Sometimes they are not even using diplomatic language. They are saying tomorrow is war. Quote, this means panic on the market, panic in the financial sector. How much does it cost to our country, Zelensky added. Then the president put a price tag on global fears in his war country. We have record-breaking GDP in 2021, record-breaking number. We have the growth in a short period of time, Zelensky explained. But after, I think, the beginning of this informational coverage, after this change in informational coverage, $12.5 billion worth of investment were taken out of Ukraine. The BBC's Ukraine coverage of the press conference reported that Zelensky meant 12.5 million being in hryvnia. The president lamented that the country had to use up part of its gold reserves to stabilize the country, which he said had reached its highest level in a decade. It's a very expensive price to pay for Ukraine, Zelensky lamented. The president also complained that the coverage is not based on reality, particularly concerns for Kiev triggered by Biden pulling the family of the U.S. Embassy staffers out of the capital, and urged reporters to visit and report from the ground. We've talked to the president. We think there is much has to be a balanced approach, Zelensky said. I'm not saying that he is influencing American media. They are independent, but the media policy, there has to be balance. Now, I totally disagree regarding media independency because they're not. They are a collective bunch of douchebags. Quote, if they want to know what the situation is, they can come to Kiev. Do we have tanks on the street? No, Zelensky continued. The feeling is, if you're not here, the feeling is that the image that the mass media created is that we have troops on the road, we have mobilization, people are leaving for places. That's not the case. We don't need this panic. My thoughts. When you have those like Dementia Boy, the knuckleheads in Washington, and the media asswipes this is what you're going to get. They're running around basically saying Ukraine's getting invaded, Ukraine's getting invaded, you know, sky's falling, the sky's falling. And Ukrainian president's going, wait, by you talking this shit, I'm losing investments in my country. I have to use my own reserves to stabilize the country. You need to stop this shit. Now, take a trip over to Russia. Vladimir Putin looks at this and goes, wow, they continue to push this narrative. Wow. Doesn't look good. It's not a good look. Optically, it's bad. Very, very bad for the country of Ukraine. And the Ukrainian president is simply saying, media, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's what basically he's saying. Now, of course, he's not going to say it the way I said it, you know, because he's too diplomatic to do so. But, you know, unlike our wonderful president here. But this is what the media does. The media will hype up shit that doesn't need to be hyped up. But yet, when it comes to things, all those lovely peaceful protesters from 2020, you know, a lovely Black Lives Matter, Antifa, over $5 billion worth of damage, you know, half a dozen cities burned around the country. That didn't get media coverage because that was all about peaceful protesting for the cause. But this situation, which could escalate because of the media hype, they don't give a damn. Because it seems that the media wants this to happen. They want to see Ukraine being invaded. And once again, Putin sits back and laughs at the whole situation because he's like, well, if you want it, I can make it happen. And on a world front, we don't need that. America does not need this. Ukraine does not need this. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.